Firstly, I'm coming from the UK with I'm afraid, a full-blown City of London cold, so I do apologise if I croak a bit. You'll reach out some lubrication from the water glass. Firstly, thank you very much for the chance to give you an update on the Gripen aircraft. It's a very important product, obviously, for my unit, the SAAB Aeronautics, the most important product. It's also a very, very key part of the whole SAAB AB portfolio. It accounts for 27% of all our revenues. And it's taken a long time to get to the point where we now have what we believe is a fighter in a class of its own in the medium-weight division. And SAAB has been building aircraft for 75 years. They produced over 4,500, some very fine fighters amongst them. Gripen, the big one, first Canard, now the Gripen. And I've had the great fortune to fly fighters for 20 years in my service. I look around out there and there's some very fine aircraft. No one builds bad aircraft, believe me, they're all good. For me, it's a question of what a nation needs. What does a nation actually want for its security and air defense? Not less, but certainly not too much more. What we've done with the Gripen is to look very carefully at a full balance of our capabilities to ensure that we've got what we think a nation needs. And I've marketed Gripen and sold globally for 17 years. And I now think we've approached or got to the point where we have an aircraft that will meet the needs of the vast majority of nations around the globe. And we've done it by looking at a balance. It's not a huge aircraft. If you want a MiG-35 or a Typhoon, then that's what you need for your specific requirements. Gripen is a medium-weight aircraft. It comes in at 9 tons dry weight, operational, carries 8 tons of payload. But it is a true multi-role, all-weather fighter. A true multi-role. It's not been retrograde fitted to become a multi-role fighter. It started life as a multi-role fighter. And the balance of systems, it's not just performance and capability alone, it's also our suppliers, strategic suppliers in particular. We build the aircraft, we build the mold line, we have the heart and soul, the mission computer, the software coding. We own all of that, and we assemble it, but we buy in on a best of the best basis components from all around the world. And the people who supply us are strategic suppliers of great importance to us. Good examples, General Electric. They provide us with their engine. I believe it's the best engine in the world, the 414G. And with GE, you also get the most important and biggest military manufacturing organization in the world with you. And for a nation the size of Sweden, 10.6 million people, SAAB's only 14,500 people, it's important to us to have strong, powerful strategic partners like General Electric. We value them all. Traditionally, fighters were upgraded halfway through their life with a major uplift, hardware, software, and the OEM would come to the customer and take a great deal of money for this one-off upgrade. But we've tried to change that pattern to do incremental upgrades, where it's majority of the time it's a software upgrade anyway, to take best opportunities of technology advancement every 2 or 3 years to put it into the aircraft software and also make use of commercial off-the-shelf where we can. Slightly more specific, but the Gripen, based on the Swedish requirement for road-based operations, has always been able to operate with a full payload of 8 tons from an 800-meter by 45-meter strip out in the road. So for a nation who needs an aircraft that's going to stand up to some very hostile conditions and still deliver day and night, then we stick with our ability to work from very hostile and high-tempo operations out in the field, FOB, damaged runways, etc. And the aircraft is very simple to support and maintain. We go out in the field with an aircraft and we take 6 conscript maintainers with us and 1 senior guy. They can turn a Gripen round in all roles in a matter of minutes. In fact, the deciding factor on how long it takes is the time it takes to put the fuel in. If you do lose an engine, we haven't lost one yet, the way we've designed the aircraft for its maintainability, we can take a hot-to-hot engine change in 60 minutes, 1 hour, out in the field, and we do it. Most important of all, we had to address the whole balance to include affordability. There is simply no way these days the nations are going to pay for a capability they don't need. And as I go around the world on our sales campaigns and trips, we sense more and more that nations are pulling in their belts. They want to know they're going to get just what they want and no more, and they are not going to pay for capability they will never use. They will not do it. So we designed the aircraft to be able to be run through its 40-year life at the lowest cost of operation of any comparable peer fighter. And even our great competitors, I think, will accede to that we are, by an order of magnitude, the lowest cost aircraft to keep in the air, with the lowest mean time between failure and the highest sortie rate out there at the moment. The Gripen's late into the export market, but not like the F-16, the Mirage, and the others who've been around for many years and done very well. But on top of the delivery to the Swedish Air Force, who are the primary customer, we've exported from 1995 to South Africa, Czech Republic and Hungary, importantly across into Asia with Thailand and more to follow there. And the Slovakian Air Force have just selected us. Importantly, I'll come on to it later, after 15 years of pretty hard endeavor, we managed to get the Brazilian order, which is, to use that overworked cliche, a bit of a game changer for us. And it's actually going to change the way we look at our business model on how we construct what we do with our customers in the future. Very briefly about the aircraft, it is a genuine multi-role aircraft, multi-role fighter, all-weather day-night, I've said, and it will provide the nation who buys it with, we believe, a very high level of performance and capability in all the air-to-air combat roles and modes, air-to-surface, sea and land, as well as reconnaissance. We flew over 2,000 missions very successfully in Unified Protector in Libya. The aircraft held up without missing one single sortie. It delivers. We also, unlike our competition, we supply, or we will fit rather, any weapon, any missile, any bomb, any pod, any store that we can carry, we will integrate onto the Gripen. And we do. And we have done and we will do. There are two variants, if you like, of Gripen. The 300 or so aircraft currently in service. That's the C and D version, we call them. That's C is a single seat, D is a two-seat version. What we are now bringing on stream is the next generation Gripen. I said just now that we don't do this one big upgrade for the midlife upgrade. We have done the big change here to produce the next generation aircraft, but at no cost to the customer. It'll be the same price. And we listened to the Swedish Air Force, to our export customer base, and they wanted more range, more hardpoint carriage, electronically scanned radar, and more EW. And we've put that into the Gripen E, single-seat F, two-seat, next-generation aircraft on your right. It's more weight overall by just under a ton, obviously, and to keep the performance, we've opted for the GE414 engine to keep our performance exactly the same as before, in fact, to increase it to include Super Cruise. And as part of the evolution, we need to maintain our existing fleet of the C and D variant, and our product development will be based on what we call MS, Material Standard Software Upgrades. Every 2 or 3 years, these will come on. They'll be input into the new generation on the top line, Gripen EF. But importantly, we will not let the existing fleet lag behind. And they will be given everything they need on the software upgrade program in exactly the same way. So we will have 2 fleets running concurrently, receiving our product development routine all the way through what is probably going to be a 40-year life. think technology and technology transfer, is becoming an increasingly, well, it's always been important. And we've evolved and developed how we work with our customer base in terms of what used to be just straight offset into industrial cooperation. But now it's moved to a completely different level, I believe. And I think this is not just with the Gripen. I think in SAAB, generally, the philosophy now is to work from day one at a grassroots level so that we don't come in top heavy and say, okay, here's your aircraft, here's 2 years of spares and supplies, here are the manuals, call us if you need us. That doesn't work. Neither should it. And what we do with a customer is to work on a skill-based level to build their expertise so they can run the aircraft as they want. And we alone, of all our peer competitors, will give full access to the entire coding software system, right down to the ability for them to manipulate the mission software and the all-important self-defense software. We shouldn't be involved in that. That belongs to a nation, not us. So we give it, even though it's our IPR. That's part of our transfer of technology. And I think a really good example is Brazil, of where we've come to in this balancing act of what we've produced, what we actually managed to give with the aircraft. In terms of technology, we have 50 key projects going now over in Brazil, from quite small ones, which are academic-based, R&D-based, right up to full-blown manufacturing, factory, simulation, and flight test and evaluation. To do this, over time, we're going to train 350 Brazilian engineers. Already in Linköping, very small commune in Sweden, there are about 200 engineers and their families who are being looked after very well by the commune. These engineers will form the core of the construction, design, and build Brazilian team who will build their own aircraft. And we are partnering with Brazil in a long-term high-tech program. They will produce their own aircraft, they will build it. Of the 36 aircraft in the first tranche, we'll supply 18 direct supply. Thereafter, it's going to be a build in Sweden, and in Brazil. They will also be the first nation to design and build the two-seat F model. Sweden's not going to, Brazil will. This, I think, and I wanted to just round this off, is where we are now with the Gripen. We've really taken a huge step with Brazil. It's a very big program for us. But we've learned a huge amount of how to do this sort of business with large customers and small customers alike to ensure that they get exactly what they want out of their asset. It costs a fortune to buy an aircraft, even a low-cost aircraft like Gripen. And a nation buying a fighter has got 40 years of partnership. And we think we've now arrived at a point where we can truly offer not just a very fine aircraft, but a very comprehensive, long-term, full-blown engagement with a nation, industrially, commercially, R&D, in every sense, a full balanced operation. Thank you very much for your time. Sorry again about the croak. I'm very happy to take questions now or later, but I see the red flag has been raised. Thank you.